Hello and welcome to yet another one of these videos where I talk about all the games that I played in every month of 2021. We're nearing the end of the year now, and so we're going into November. And surprisingly, we only have 3 games to talk about now, as compared to the usual 5 or 6 for the other months. And those games are Shady Part of Me, Valaya Princess and the Blind Prince, and Nier Automata. So without further ado, let's get on to the first game. So the first game we're going to talk about is Shady Part of Me. Now, first off, this game has a very unique design, and admittedly it's been done before in other games such as Limbo or Little Nightmares, and in a sense, Shady Part of Me is basically that, it's just a side-scrolling puzzle game like Limbo or Little Nightmares, except this one, we don't have mind control, we don't have whatever the fuck the mall was, or what the Pale City was. Basically what I'm getting at is, Shady Part of Me does kind of feel like a clone, but at the same time not really, because it actually is very unique, mostly because of its main gimmick, which is interchanging with the girl you're playing as and her shadow. And speaking of which, there's a lot of shadow work in this game, which is just, it's great, and the platforms and the puzzles and all that, they're just very fun to navigate through. I don't really have many complaints, aside from sometimes the puzzles can be a bit repetitive and I don't really like the girl at the start of the game, but aside from that, I think it's it's a fine game, it's a pretty good game in its own right, and you should play it if you like games such as Limbo or Inside or Little Nightmares, and if you want something not as dark as them, because Jesus Christ, they are dark. And for some reason, I don't know if this was especially apparent for anybody else, but I kind of felt it was a bit therapeutic. I don't know why, but I just felt that. But anyway, let's go on to the next game, shall we? Next up, we have Valaya Princess and the Blind Prince. I think the best way to describe this game, and especially its atmosphere, is it's sort of like those original versions of fairy tales that were later reimagined by Disney, except without the Grizzly Child death. But in a sense, I guess that's how you can describe it. It's a very fairy tale-like experience, where it feels like a sort of a storybook, and there are bits of it that actually do resemble a storybook. I don't know how to properly express it. If you play the game, you might know what I'm talking about. But I think one of the more apparent things about it is really the characters, which of course being the Valaya Princess and the Blind Prince, and really their relationship in the game. And it's cute. There's no other way to describe it. It's just cute. I mean, look at them. I love the chibi style of the 2 main characters. It's just perfect. In terms of gameplay, I think the best way I can kind of describe it is a semi 2D experience. Basically, if you've played a game like Eco, then maybe it's like this. I've never played Eco, but anyways, that's not the point. But the game certainly has flaws, and it's mainly due to the gameplay, and more specifically, its combat. Because during combat, you have to switch into this wolf thing. Of course, you are in control of the princess. But the problem with the combat is that it's not very rewarding, it's not, that interesting, and more importantly, it's just not that fun, which is a shame, because the combat and the puzzle solving, I guess we can also apply this to the puzzle solving elements as well, just that fun to complete, which is a real shame, because I feel that if those were tweaked, a little bit so they can be great, we would have like a classic on our hands. We'd have a pretty damn good game on its own. But with the flaws, it's alright. But enough of that. Let's get on to the final game. And the final game we'll be talking about this month is Nier Automata. Also, there's kind of spoilers in this trailer, so if you haven't played the game, you should, but don't watch. Anyways, this game is the reason why there are only 3 games this month. Because admittedly, it is really long, but I'm not that fussed about it, because it is really damn good. Like, this is a game that everybody really raves about, especially like in the past 5 years, and for good reason. It's got great characters, it's got great gameplay, especially in the combat, and it's got some great ideas to it. And you know, if you haven't heard of Nier Automata, why haven't you? I mean, for God's sake, I think everybody has at this point, but that's getting off topic. But we got to discuss one of the main selling points of Nier Automata, well, at least for me, and that was basically the ideas behind it. Because Nier actually has some very interesting ideas to it, especially in terms of its antagonists and its protagonists and whatnot. Like, for example, the topics against pacifism, or I guess what free will is, especially with the androids, on whether they're doing the right thing or not by murdering robots, and basically whether the fuck Adam and Eve were. But getting on to that, there were some actually great characters in here. Of course, we got Adam and Eve, we have Pascal, we have A2, and we also have our main characters, I guess, 2B and 9S. Technically, I haven't finished it yet, because I only finished the section at the start where you only play as 2B. Haven't gone on to any of the other character stories yet, you know, 9S and A2, but I really am looking forward to it, and I will get the chance because I'm gonna do it on a charity stream later this month. But that's besides the point, and that's all the games that I played in November. Tune in next week. Oh no, next week, not next week. Next month, where we'll go through the final month of 2021, December, and we'll wrap this whole series up. If you like what you see, click, comment, and subscribe. I mean, I don't know about click, but that's just a phrase. Anyways, but yeah, if you like what you see, feel free to comment, feel free to subscribe, feel free to like the video and whatnot. I'm rambling at this point, but anyways, thanks for watching.